Hey, everybody. I want to thank you so much for listening to Our Kids Play Hockey, especially this time of year when it's hot outside. And we got a new thing we're doing right now. We have created a new hockey ball in part with Milek Hockey. These are low bounce hockey balls. They are perfect for the summer. And here's the best part. When you buy a 3-pack of these at hockeywraparound.com or amazon.com, we are going to be donating a day's worth of meals for a puppy in need at the ASPCA. Only when you buy these balls. Again, they're called the My Ball by Hockey Wraparound. You can get them at hockeywraparound.com or amazon.com. Every purchase donates a day's worth of meals for a dog in need via the ASPCA. But without further ado, we want to thank you for listening to Our Kids Play Hockey. We're going to jump right into the episode. Check out that promotion, hockeywraparound.com, amazon.com. Just search My Ball by Hockey Wraparound and help a good boy out there. Enjoy the episode. Hello, hockey skaters and goalies around the world, and welcome back to another edition of The Ride to the Rink. It's Lee Elias with you with Luke Croucher. Luke is a Division III hockey player at Newman University right outside Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He comes from Canada. He's also an influencer online. His channel is insane. You got to check it out. Luke Croucher. Look him up on Instagram. It's Luke Crouch A if you want to look for that. You won't have any problem finding him. But Luke wanted to talk to you all out there a little bit about the importance of habits and how it helped him get to where he wants to be today.
I appreciate you having me on here, and I'm super excited to talk about this topic. I think I am a byproduct of my habits, and what a lot of people don't know is that it is not just me; it is you as well. You think about like the things like you do when you wake up in the morning. I always think, okay, what are the first like 3 or 4 things you do in the morning? Probably brush your teeth, probably hop in the shower, go for a walk, whatever it is. Maybe make yourself that cup of coffee. Um, those things are usually the same things you do 7 days a week. And I think a lot of people don't realize this. I read a book called The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg, and that's kind of how I understood. Like, I wanted to know, like, how can I become more productive? How can I become more effective? And it literally said 40% of the things you do throughout your entire life, every single day, are all revolved around habits. So I realized, like, as a player, if I can make my 40% of what I do on a daily basis more towards me becoming a better hockey player, then that's what I need to do. So I always preach this. It doesn't take 6 to 12 hours a day in order to become a better hockey player. I'm saying it takes 3 to 4 hours a day. You go, work out in the morning, you get on the ice, you go compete. 3 to 4 hours every single day. That's about, 30 to 40% of your day over a long period of time, if that. And I think that's the bigger thing when it comes to you developing as a hockey player, is that you realize that you are human, you have emotions. Not all the time are you going to be motivated. Like, there's going to be times where you have a really bad game and you're not going to want to do anything the next day. Well, what happens is when you build habits is that it doesn't matter what you feel, it's just what you do and it's who
Right.
you are. So it's more about ingraining just those patterns into your lifestyle. I always refer to, like, hey, if you're really struggling to build a habit, make a small routine behind the habit. So for example, the toughest thing for me is I built this basement when I was like 16, 17 years old. You might have seen it on my Instagram where like you're shooting pucks in this basement. And what people don't realize is that basement was empty for 2 or 3 years. I built it and I didn't realize that I needed to build habits to get into the gym. It wasn't that I need to make the gym, I need to build the habits for the gym. And I think that was the biggest thing for me, is learning that. And that small routine is like, okay, maybe I eat, maybe I go for a walk. I try to do something to almost like warm up, hype myself
Mhm.
up, and then get into the gym. So always try and think about small routines that you can kind of build to build that habit up. And that's it. That's it. Those small little tasks, those boring tasks are what you need to do in order to get better. But if you get them out early on in the day, um, you're really gonna, benefit. And whether it might not be working out, it might be shooting pucks, but find the same time, the same place every day. Time has memory, location has energy. Those are the two
Oh,
biggies.
that's good.
That'll help you out a lot. Time has memory, location has energy. Okay. If you go into an environment where there's like a gym. Walk into the gym. There's people already working out. You're probably going to be the next person working out as long as you get into the environment. That's why half the battle is actually showing up. So hopefully that helps, and understand that you are human. Habits is what's going to help you as a hockey player rather than the emotions of you being a hockey player. So
I
um,
love it, Luke. And what's funny is I'll tell you, for those of you listening out there, when you do build a habit, whether you said it, shooting pucks every single day, going for a walk, you'll know it's built because the time will come to do that, and you will feel very uncomfortable if you are not doing the habit that you have built up. I remember, as you said, shooting in my garage, 500 pucks every single day at the exact time every single day. Man, if a day went by and I didn't do that, I felt like a limb was missing off my body. But that's the
yeah,
power of these things. And you take 500 shots a day. That's a lot of shots a week. It's a lot of shots in a season. Real quick from you, what aside from the gym, what are some of the other habits that you've built up in your game that helped you get to where you are today?
that's a good point. I think some things that this got me stuck, to be honest. It's I think the big thing for me is just like realizing that you kind of just have to have a little bit of a tenacious mentality. You can't be afraid at making mistakes. I think the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing today is because when I was like 10 to 15 years old, 13 years old was kind of like the prime of my career. I was like really, really confident. And then I realized like my 14, 15-year-old year like humbled me. It was because I just was afraid to take risks. I remember like throughout my whole junior career, I was always that defensive centerman. I was always that defensive forward. I never, even though I had the skills to do something, I just simply didn't take the risk. Like you're allowed to try and slip it through a stick. You're allowed to toe drag. You're allowed to try and make a play. Hold on to the pucks more and just do those things. And I think now I've approached college. I think if anyone sees like, looks up at Lee's prospects, you'll realize like my first year of college was one of my best years because I literally came in and I was like, I got to just like drop my expectations and just go all in and just like don't be afraid to make plays, have that confidence in doing so. And that was like one of the best years of my life. And I'm not saying my past years have been better. Um, what I am saying, I was a winger and I was just on the loose and I just wanted to make plays and get ambitious. And I scored one. That was like one of my highest goal scoring seasons. So if you can take that away, that's one thing. Is just be tenacious. Don't be afraid to, get after something and
Well, and you
really
can
take
build
those
a
risks.
habit of doing that. Mental habits work as much as physical habits. And then,
Yeah.
look, my last question for the audience. We're talking to youth hockey players, 18 down. This is an
Yeah.
important one. What age do you have to be to start building habits?
What age do you have to be? You already have habits. It's just which ones do you decide to do, right?
Right. And that's what I'm
Um,
getting at, right? There is no age. So if you're 10 years old, you can do this. If you're 6 years old, you can do this. If you're 17 years old, you can do this. This is not something, as Luke said, you don't have to wait to start. You make a decision to start. And you can do that
yes,
right now.
yes, and it's that first little couple weeks. It's that first, um, it's the first initial like where you actually have to go through the emotional roller coaster of like, wow, like if I want to get to this gym, I don't want to do it right now, but I really need to build this habit in order to do so. If I want to get to what you go, or I want to get to where I want to go. And I think that's the big thing is that these habits, they require some sacrifice. Like in order to get one thing, you got to sacrifice another. And
Absolutely.
in doing
Maybe.
so, like that might mean you don't feel as good on one day and you still go to the gym. But that moment right there is where you actually build confidence is on the days you don't want to do it and you do it, you build that confidence. And I started to realize that as I got a little bit more consistent um, in showing up for myself. So
Well, I think that's great advice for the kids listening and parents. If you're listening with your kids too, you can just look at them and start nodding because I'm sure you've been telling that to them as well. But
yeah,
Luke Crouchett, this has been great. I really appreciate you coming on, and for the kids listening, great advice. Make sure you check him out, Luke Croucher, on across social media. But his channel is one I think you're really going to love if you love this show. He has a great way of speaking to you out there in a way that's going to inspire you, but also educate you on pathways forward to becoming the best person you can be, which, as you know, makes you a great player at the end of the day. Luke, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Lee. I really appreciate it.
No worries, man. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of The Ride to the Rink. Remember, all of them available at ourkidsplayhockey.com. But for those of you listening out there, skating out there, having fun out there, always enjoy the game. And remember to skate on.